zoning laws as well as when things come in. So I think that there's two things missing, and one is our harbor masters at least being referenced in there, and dollar values coming from as part of the stuff.
Staff as required, whatever staff is needed. Deputy Mayor Dag and then Councillor Cook.
Right, just to address John's concern about representation, and I agree completely. But I also have a concern that this Harbor Committee not get too large and ungainly. And so, since there are already 3 council members represented, purportedly going to be on this committee as well, would it not be wise to say that we'd have 3 more representatives from Grand Bend and 3 from the Port Franks area, and one of those is actually an upriver Sauble landowner? And then that would give those who are on the selections committee some guidance on selecting the people according to representation.
Councillor Cook.
Well, it goes back to the committee strike. I think let the councils decide what this is their committee. Let them decide. I don't think councils will be putting any mandate on what the council structure should, or committee structure should look like. Let the committee members decide where they're going to go with it, where they, how they want to do it. Come back with recommendations, and let us decide if it's feasible to work.
I guess the concern is that the report is asking us for a number of people, right? So we are, as a council, obligated to make some choices about the numbers of people. So that's part of my concern. Is 9 plus the mayor's ex officio a good number? Works for the council, basically. I'm just wondering if that seems acceptable to you as well.
Councillor Underwood.
Well, I got a problem with the amount of councillors on there, quite honestly. I mean, I know everybody wants to go running with a bucket and spade so they can help, but I mean, we're going to have 4 councillors on this thing, plus we're going to have members of staff, plus we're going to have people who are going to be diverse from around the area. Holy mackerel. I mean, it's going to be a very big committee, and you know, I mean, is that what you want, really? I mean, if you guys want to do that, that's fine, but I won't be there.
Councillor Cook.
Just to speak back, I guess this is an economic development issue right here.
Yeah.
This is it. You're driving your tourism, you're driving your ports, your harbors, the whole 9 yards is coming out of this one committee. So I think you have to have these people involved that are going to be, they're the hands-on people that are in those areas. They need to know who's going to be on that committee with them. So I think leave it up to these guys to pick who they want to make these decisions. I don't think council should be making this decision. That's up to these guys.
Councillor Bonsteel and Councillor Russell.
I'm just going to throw a number out, or we'll be here till midnight. You have 3 areas of representation, 3 area councillors. I'm going to suggest the number 6 seems to work well for citizen representation on a number of the committees we've had. I would look at 2 from each area. You have your ex officio, so you'd have 3 members of council, your ex officio, and then 6 stakeholders. The only thing I would insist on, I agree with Councillor Russell, they should be ratepayers, not visitors. We can use the harbor masters, the staff to liaise with the renters. We can use different survey tools, but I think the people who sit on this committee, and Councillor Cook, I agree with you, but this is a committee of council. We have to determine the terms of reference from this table, as we have with other committees of council that we have struck. And so, in terms, I mean, I can put it in a motion in terms of the numbers. There's just, another area I had a concern was the frequency of meetings. I leave that up to the call of the chair. I think the committee, when you hamstring yourself with 1 meeting in February and 2 meetings in that, let the call of the chair do it. I can put that in a motion if you want. I put that in a motion.
Just page 96, fill in the second yellow mark there that says council shall appoint public stakeholders.
Yeah.
So
And I would say 6
in there.
I would say 6, 2 from each area. 2 from the harbor and Grand Bend, 2 from Port Franks, and 2 from the river. And then there's nobody saying, oh, they got more in the north than we have. We won't get into that nonsense. It's a nice sized committee. It's a committee of 10 plus 2 or 3 staff, 12, 13. It's a workable committee size. You might not have all the people there all the time anyway, so.
Just my concern would be with the how far up the river in Grand Bend does the committee go as well.
Wait to the municipal line. Wherever the municipal line ends.
Tri-County Bridge?
Yeah. Well,
Tri-County.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, hey, they're gonna, please might not apply. They have a right to apply. You have a right to look at the application.
How it works, but the only thing that will get up then. Councillor Russell?
Okay, I'm not stuck on 2, 3, 5 or anything. The reality of it, I like Councillor Cook's point in terms of the openness. The reality is that we went through this exercise a year ago, and we've done a little bit each step. This is a step along the way, and the fact is, it is economic development, it is ice jam, it's very much, it's a large picture issue. The to reference that is being talked about in this memo to us, or this report to us, talks about us forming a committee. But in fact, the committee is probably going to sit down and think in terms of reference, let's be honest, and then
Come back.
determine we're going to advertise for. In that discussion, I think the points that Councillor Scott made, things like that will be coming out of those discussions.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so.
Councillor McGuire. No, we spoke yet.
Just to bring this up again, I mean, we had our budget period, and if you look at how our budget's structured, the harbors are self-funded, they're separate, you know, they're paid through dockage, they're paid through the user groups that are using it. So to just make it completely of ratepayers would be unfair to people who are actually supporting it and have been supporting it for many years. I think we need the people that are just slip renters and not taxpayers, because they've been using these docks for years, and they have a lot of expertise as well.
We're limiting ourselves if we just, Councillor Munson.
Well, I just shopped at No Frills today. Should I sit on the Loblaws board? I mean, I think at some point you have to say, people are renting, they're fluid, they come and go. Some may have been there for 20 years. But the vested interest here is the stakeholder, which is the taxpayer. And I do think you have to put a number on this, unless you want to turn it back to you 4 members of council, and you sit down and decide what you would like to bring back to this council as a committee of council. If you want to do that, but you're wasting time. I don't know why you have to.
It's got to come back to this council for approval anyway.
So why don't we table this? You 4 sit down, put the numbers to it, you do all the hard work, then why are we sitting here, you know?
Yeah.
Councillor Scott,
I realize that
you're breaking for
I'm
7.4,
7.4,
so.
but I think this is important. I think that we need to look at this from the dynamics of what Lambton Shores is. And Lambton Shores comprises of all the economic development information that's been put out, and it comprises of the people that pay the taxes in Lambton Shores that live here and do that. I agree that people come in here and they do voting and they do stuff here. But if the harbor masters are involved in some way, they are the ones that deal with the people that come in every day. So if we decided as a group to do a survey, for example, of where our voters come from, right? We can do that. Like, there's all kinds of things that the group can do, but the group's got to get put in place first in order to do each and every step of the way that we're going to go. So I really believe that right now, probably 2, 2, and 2 is a good move.
I guess I'd like a motion that states how many people we want on this committee, and that we approve the application form that's in here, that states the date when they have to be back in and signed and filled out with all the information, and then we'll go from there. The committee will carry on. Councillor Russell.
I'll make a motion that the 3 members of council, mayors ex officio, and 6 members of the public, and with the advertisement out, and it's up to the committee to set the terms of reference for the actual operations of the committee and the subsequent recommendations to council, and advertise for those 6 positions ASAP.
They'll bring it back. Second by Councillor Munson. Speak to the motion.
Yes, one thing that the report asks for is that we appoint a chair. And should we be leaving that to the committee to make that determination as well?
All
Yeah,
right.
it's fine.
Councillor Munson.
Just one quick housekeeping item. If appointed to the Harbors Committee, which harbor do you represent? You really need to add the 3rd component there, which is the Assault River. So it's not just representing Grand Bend Harbor, Port Franks Harbor. The 3rd box would be Assault River, so you know you're getting that constituent group as well.
But if the Grand Bend goes up to the Tri-County Bridge, Port Franks goes up to the Iron.
Well, you get to see who applied. No one's gonna be easy.
Okay.
We can do it.
Any other discussion? Councillor McGuire?
I think we're just cutting ourselves short. I think expanding the committee by 3 people, 1 extra person, 3 from each area. Because you have private marinas, you have municipal dock users, you have all those, and the property owners. In Grand Bend alone, you have a cruising club, yacht club, municipal slips, private owners who have their own private docks. You have all the condo groups that have dock beach on the wall. There's a lot of user groups here, and we'd be amiss just to keep it tight.
To limit that to 2,
Yeah.
is what this is suggesting.
3 would give us just a little more flexibility.